Okay, we should be online now. That means there's one more thing we need to set up in here. Yeah, okay. We can now start getting ready for the flight. Something has landed. Polonia. I never knew they ever fly anymore. 2 aircraft are arriving. Okay. For now, we can start getting ready for the flight. Right, setting up the joystick thing. And the yoke. Right, so it's working. In that case, we are in the B787. And we need to start getting ready for the flight. So first, what I do, I'd align myself, or the aircraft, so it can read that position. Correct, okay. Should appear here quickly. That's it. And the route, I've got it pre-written. And the flight is 04 Sierra Charlie. Alright. Departure. Let's take 29er. Are they all ending on 29er? The weather is good for both runways, but actually this one is if they're landing on 29er, I'm not going to disturb them. Island to hotel. Activate. Oh, whoop. Yes, that's it. And the performance reserves 2,000, well, oops, 2 tons, cost index 6 because that's a Ryanair. Flight 11270, it's a short haul flight in Poland. They won't allow us to fly anymore higher. And what winds do we have? At this level, 270, that's minus 30, and the wind is 290, 290,007. Okay. And the temperature is minus 30, yes, that's 38 there, so let's give it 8. Yep, the deviation 8, and that's fine. Yeah, and one limit, we'll take TO2 and a value of 50 degrees. It's so hot tonight in Poland, so we still need to deceive the aircraft is much hotter. Okay. What explain now what I've done? What explain now what I've done? Maybe later if anybody asks. Any takeoff. Flaps 5. Center of gravity 487. Yeah, something around here. And the speed bugs 136, that would be 156. 156, adding 20. Okay, let's align the runway heading, always a good practice. That's right. Yeah, 10,000 feet should be right for departure from Gdańsk, but let's give it 6. They all give 6,000 in Poland initially. Alright, have I sent the flight plan? Yes, I have. So that looks done. There's the other one. There we go, flight directors. What's wrong with our nav? I want it. Work. Oh yeah, okay. We need to, I think, give it at least 10,000 feet to make it work. Still not working. Come on. Weather should be fine. Let's give my co-pilot terrain view so he has got something to watch en route. But I still don't know why he hasn't given us the Boeing cruise. Everything is built. Everything is built as it should be. Yeah, all is fine. So I don't know why it won't be enough. Oh well, maybe it will do. It will do during the flight. I won't worry about it now. 220 here. 122.8. Okay. So the Unicum is working. Nobody on the chat yet. Maybe someone turn up. Nobody so far. Okay. Switch that chat box off. There's nobody here. Yeah, we'll have a look at the channel. See how it goes. Something's happening or not. Let's go to my channel. Right, have a look at the channel, see how it goes. it's happening or not. Okay. Oh, the speed brake is armed. No, but it's telling me the speed brake is armed. Yeah. There's still no good reason. Anyway, okay. So. Let's then activate the APU. And wait what happens. The time you go to the toilet, waiting for the APU to come up, and everything is ready and it's in the computer. There's still the time for a cigarette, the last one. The captain's toilet don't have those detectors, so you can still have a cigarette. Yeah, of course I'm jokingly do. But well, not in virtual. Where's the speed brake armed? I should not be. Come on. What's wrong with the speed brake? Oh, they're not extended. Let's close the door. Why is the bloody door not closing? Okay, here it is. Logos lights. Okay, is the EPU working there? Yeah. So we can say goodbye to ground power. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. But what worries me is why is the speed brake on? It should not be. Oh, I've disarmed it. It's not armed. But the bloody light is still on. I don't know why. Alright. Has this lot arrived yet? Fine. Okay. I'll write them down. Step 40. There we go. Here I'm back. Enjoying the cigarette. We'll be ready to start the engines. Anti-collision. Boom boom. Yeah, these ones we can also switch on. That's heating. Air conditioning packs off. Runway vacated. Thank you, my friend. I will be using it quite soon. Yep. Oh, what's wrong with the autothrottle this time? Anything wrong with it? Yeah, the speed brake went down and the heel nav should be working now. No, still not working. Never mind. Let's start the engine. Look for N2 to reach 25. Yeah, more or less. And let us observe what's happening now. The ignition's on. The other ignitions will be on soon. So we can start the other engine. Number 2. Ladies and passengers, this is your captain speaking. Welcome on board and Ryanair whatever flight. Hopefully we're not going to crash today, which is my strong wish, my co-pilot and the whole crew. If we do, it means you've overpaid double. Funeral services not included in ticket price. Yeah, it's quite high in Krakow. Brand new scenery there. Will be a chance to test it. Okay, engines on. Plugs on. Hate flying at night. There's nothing you can see in this. Right. Okay, packs are on now. Passengers are getting fresh air, not pressurized yet. Right, flaps 5. Taxi lights, and I think we're more or less ready to fly. If he's just vacated the runway, where is he? I can't see anyone. There is another one. Fully established. There's nothing like fully established. There's no such transmission message. Let's start taxi, I don't care. You're either established on localizer or established on ILS. And in Britain they've got a slightly different system. But if you're established on ILS, you're established both on the vertical path and the lateral path. If you established only on localizer, you established only on localizer. And that's it, nothing like fully established. This is a VATSIM jargon, so to say. Now, we don't want Romeo, we need Alpha. Okay. Anyone enjoying the flight with me? Not yet, not yet, nobody. Quiet, probably the time of the night. Or everybody is playing battlefields, something like that. What should be interesting? What else could be more interesting than flying at night with some Polish night idiot? Almost 50 years of age. But there is something in night flights. The night flights are quiet. It's the time of the day where everybody's relaxed, so you are not much you can see from cockpits, but view there in the sky, dark sky, in a noise simulator, and that's what it was about. Full established, full established. I think he's approaching, landing. Is he going to report? Fully landed. Or, so to say, fully vacated the runway. Ooh, long landing, mate. A bit more practice needed. Wonder what kind of landing we are going to make tonight. Haven't landed in Krakow yet with the new scenery and flying design. Let's see what they've done. Anybody else flying tonight at this time of night? No, no one. I just had a short look at the radar, some kind of a preview of VATSIM flights. There's nobody, so there's no need to report. Good, 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 good. Runway vacated, via go. Thank you very much, mate. Why didn't you write fully vacated? It is worrying me though why it hasn't lateral navigation armed. Hopefully it's going to operate up in the air. I'll just check one more thing. Just check the cruise level. Yeah. Alright. Yeah, it's a long run. It's a long runway, so long runway, so a few meters won't make much difference. This taxiway should be alright. Yeah, as the holding point, let's stop and hold. I still need to check something. And the flight computer, you stupid moth, go away. Climb. Right, yeah, everything's fine in here. So I see no reason why this has not armed. Well, okay. The fixed one's on. Strobe lights. A transponder. Charlie. Runway vacated. So here we go. What do you want? Ah, the parking brake was on. Wonderful weather they have in Gdańsk tonight at the seaside, but not much fun of swimming this summer due to some bloody bacteria in the sea. Most of the beaches are closed. Okay. Here we go. Takeoff power on. Rotate and V2 up and away. Positive rate gear coming up. Yeah, there we go. I told you it's gonna work, no problem. Up we go, up and away. Up and away. Good. Yeah, 3,000 feet, flaps up. Accelerate, accelerate, accelerate. All these noise abatement procedures. Can't speed up quickly, have to wait 3,000 feet and then NADP procedure they call it. There are two of them, I'm using the first one. Alright. There we go. And I think we can climb to 270. Nobody flying here at this time of night. Not much to see outside of the window. That's a night flight. And the standard pressure. 10,000 feet coming up. Yeah, okay, let's turn the lights off. Don't need them anymore. Ignition's off. And the logo lights off. Not to tease the eyes of other pilots, so they don't get a sudden glow in the middle of the night. Of course not. I was joking. But who's going to watch your tail at this altitude? And the logo light is, as the name says, just for marketing purposes down there at the airport. Okay, there. I will leave you for a few moments now. I'll be back with you in a second. Don't go away. We're still climbing. We're still climbing. Right, and I'll be back with you in 5 minutes. Okay, here we're back again in the cockpit, flight level 270, and to top of descent we have 138 miles. So we are going actually we're going to descend, no, top of descent is at 2203 Zulu, which is 21 minutes from now. So this is going to be Boeing 21 minutes where nothing is actually happening, but I can't help too much. This is the moment where you would normally in the cockpit check a newspaper, magazine, or checked your flight schedule for the next week on your laptop or pad, whatever you have, or simply watch a movie, but in this case it's too short time to watch a movie, as only the passengers will think that you're sitting there all covered with sweat, stuck to the yoke and fighting with the elements. But life's different. Okay, as you can see, there's no much ATC online. A lone tower, a lonely tower in Warsaw sitting there. Well, not much we can do about it. We're not flying there. So let's declutter the window. What course is there to land in Krakow? My hometown. 253. Okay. 253. That's for the ILS. And 11030. 110.30, so it's all set. Good. No traffic around, no traffic. Yeah. Airport's on the way. Not big one. I'll be flying close to Łódź. Echo Papa Lima Lima. But that's going to be later. No ATC, so I can already preset the altitude. Let's give it 3,000 feet. Not 4,000 feet, but that's what we will join final. 4,000 feet. I've got one viewer at the moment, which is me. Good, good, good. Bravo, you're an excellent pilot. Full of excitement. Can't wait till you land, mate. Thank you. Okay. I had a few guys who have never flown to Poland or don't know Poland too much or don't know the Polish airports, but I think you have done that because they're quite nice sceneries. I'm flying from Gdańsk, which is at the Polish seaside, the north, as a kind of a three cities place where you have Sopot, Gdańsk and Gdynia. They're all cities where you actually travel through all three in one bus or one train, and you never know which city you're in. They're so close. And the airport holds the name of Lech Walesa. Probably you know the name from the history of Poland. The one thanks to whom they say the communism in Poland has fallen, and who has given a good start to the fall of communism in Europe in late 80s and beginning of 90s. And we're flying to Kraków, which is in the south of Poland, close to the mountains, but still not at mountains though. Which is a historical city, very old, with its beginnings in the 11th, 12th century. And it's a former EPGD, far away from us, which is a former capital of Poland, which was moved to Warsaw, as far as I remember, the 16th century, which is good, because we now get more tourists in Warsaw. And as a capital, it wasn't a capital during the Second World War, so it wasn't destroyed by the Germans. Warsaw was. So in Warsaw we got everything rebuilt, reconstructed, and it was almost leveled by the Germans, especially after the uprisal in September 1944. So Kraków is full of old historic buildings, very old, very old, very nice. And in Warsaw everything you've got which looks old is not old, it has just been reconstructed after the war. And the airport in Kraków, Echo Papa Kilo Kilo, is the second biggest, largest airport in Poland. 10 years ago it had approximately 2 million, maybe not even that, passengers per year. At the moment we have over 6 million passengers per year, which is quite a large number for a small regional airport with one runway only. And it's developing very fast. Every few years the terminal gets extended, and the Warsaw has, the capital of Poland, has 11 million, 10 million, 11 million passengers per year. We have half of that, that is 6, which makes us come second in the number of passengers. Well, the operations normally in real life in Kraków, we've got usually about 140, 150 operations per day, which makes about 70, 80, well 60, 70 takes off and takeoffs and the landings. So, and there's only 23 stands for aircraft, so you can imagine that it's not an easy task sometimes to host all of them, but well, at least once they were constructed last year, no, 2 years ago, when the apron was extended, from then on the old part of the apron, which had not been renovated, just extended, is now renovated. So from every time now and then we have a few stands closed, so it's never 23 in fact. And if we get bigger aircraft, category D or category E, then the amount of available parking spaces gets smaller. But still very important from the logistic point of view. We're hosting here in Kraków many events, sometimes historical, like the International Youth Days 2016 and the visit of the Pope. We get kings and queens and all those prime ministers coming quite often, because once they're in Poland to see somebody in Warsaw, they always come to Kraków to visit it. And from Kraków you always go to Auschwitz to visit it, to the Lichka salt mine to go to visit it. So they are tempted and they come. And then we have a lot of work. If you've got a bigger airport and you get a crown head coming, you simply put them somewhere in the back, make space for the aircraft, everything is fine. Here we've got 23 parking spaces. It's a big event, you have to arrange it all very, very well. Okay, but I'm not going to bore you with all this information. Just to give you a short hint, Oh, by the way, there's brand new scenery of Krakow Airport because we had the old one from 2012. Totally inadequate operationally, with old taxiing stands and taxiways and everything. That was all changed. The apron is big and the scenery looks quite promising. You can check my channel, there is a review of the new scenery quite recently published with a few details about that, good points, bad points. In fact, I believe it's quite a good scenery, but it can always be better. That's why you're making all those reviews. But I have contacted the creators of the scenery. I've also helped them a little bit to keep up with the reality of the airport, and we're working on it now. So there's going to be patches, there's going to be updates, and the updates will include better versions, more functional, working faster and with more details, and hopefully more airport objects, because the old scenery by Jawiecki design, apart from the airport itself, it had very nice surroundings, and what is very important, the city and the city landmarks included. Now we don't have the city, we don't have the landmarks, we just have an airport in the middle of somewhere outside of the city outskirts. Okay. Well, we're flying so slowly because we need to speed up a bit. Let's do it a little bit by hand. The FMC will calculate the good speed only if we're flying at higher levels. Here we've got flight level 270, so it keeps on 250 indicated. So we need to burn a little bit more. Never mind. If I flew in real Ryanair, they would probably charge me for extra fuel used. They so Scrooge on fuel, I wouldn't believe it. Even if all flight procedures they've got, they all at the verge or at the borderline of safety, so to say, almost getting established on 6 mile with CDA, not too lower flaps first, never long finals because you burn a lot of engines and so on and so forth. What's even interesting, on board of Ryanair aircraft you've got those leaflets, so to say, on safety, right? Where's the window you jump through, where's the next emergency door, and what to do in case of emergency, you know all that. And what's interesting, there used to be an A4 format, the one you usually get in the office papers, etc. They cut it in half to an A5, made it smaller, and they claim they had saved something like 400,000 pounds a year only on cutting the size down to A4 because it's lighter. So even such a little detail, every passenger has to have it put into the pocket of the seat in front of you, and then it was twice as big and twice as heavy. It's a gram well, maybe, I don't know, 3 gram, 4 gram difference, but they still made money on saving, so I'm not surprised. And then what they fly in Ryanair, it's the cost index 6, which is very, very low. So they start descent very, very early. They descend practically on full idle with a speed of 245 knots. But that's the way they do it. Okay. Top of descent coming soon, hopefully. Let's see. Oh, it's still 2202. 6 minutes from now. Okay. Let's change the sound because the engines seem to be too loud. Slightly too loud. Yeah, should be much better now. Look at the sky. I mean, there's no clouds, no storms. And where I'm flying, where I live in Krakow, only an hour, 1 hour ago, I had a huge storm, thunderstorm. Pun, pun, pun. 100 souls on board. Engine 2 is on fire. Decide to continue on destination. Good. Good. There is something like fire system to extinguish it. I might try to use it. If not, you keep on continuing to your destination. I know where you're flying. Oh, I'm still climbing to fly level 240. Okay, I know where you're flying, babe. You've got like 300 or 400 miles ahead. Good luck, mate. On one engine. What? No, you must see it. Look what the guy has written. 160 souls on a boar. On a boar. Is it a combo? With some boars in it? There's a white pig in it. Okay. 160 souls on a board. Alright. Some of those texts on the Unicom in the past seem really funny. One of the guys recently wrote requesting radio check. And because Unicom, for those who don't know, is the channel only for communication between pilots to avoid conflicts or report your intentions, again to avoid conflicts. And as an only text channel, there's absolutely no way using most popular software like vPilot or Squawkbox to use it on voice. I mean, you could try using it on voice in one of the old software, but nobody uses it, in fact. And requesting radio check on Unicom and only text is available seems a bit weird. But you get guys like that. And if you use Unicom, that means you're flying with no control, and you're taking off with no control, and you are taxiing on the runway, well, to the runway, or after landing to the stand, again without control. The control is absent, and the guys keep writing something like cleared for takeoff. I say, who the hell cleared you? If you're writing on the Unicom, that means we started descent, good. That means that there is no ATC. If there's no ATC, no air traffic control, there's no possible way anybody could have possibly cleared you to do anything, including takeoff, descent, landing. But then people go on and saying, yeah, cleared for takeoff, cleared for landing. Right, let's check weather in Krakow. .80 at 5 knots, which is still good for landing on runway 25. Lovely. Lovely. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, I forgot to change the speed, and that's why we're going down so fast. We've got to slow down now, because we are below the flight path. This is when you talk too much instead of concentrating on the instruments, and then they come and shoot you in a movie on National Geographic on air disasters. The pilot has changed something and did not return to normal. That's what automatic flight does for you. It makes you stop thinking. That's why I like MD-82, which is like a grandfather of this type of aircraft. Where half of the things you get automatic here, they have to be done by hand, manually. So at least you have to do something. Recently done a video on how to fly MD-80, just basic instructions, not a tutorial really, but to allow someone who got hold of the aircraft to have a short flight, enjoy it without going very deeply into the manual. Unfortunately in Polish only, so in English, maybe I'll do it in English later. If anybody wants, no problem, let me know, write down, leave a comment and say, I want MD-82 sort of manual in English. I'll do it, no problem. But then you have to subscribe first. I only accept requests from subscribers. Something for something, you know, life's like that. Okay. I have actually made a shortcut on the arrival in Krakow because it's empty. I checked that before. There's nobody at the moment flying to Krakow. Just me. Nobody taking off from Krakow. So I won't do any harm. I'm flying a shortcut in the standard arrival, which I would probably normally get from ATC anyway. In such circumstances, all I did, I just made it shorter of a few S-shape legs on approach to the runway. Flying at night is boring because Can't see anything outside. There is some kind of a storm building up there at front. Well, okay. Cold drink does you good. Got 34 centigrade at the moment in Krakow. Late in the night and it's still so hot. The hottest summer ever. Still not as bad as in Spain or Portugal, but they expect to have about 50. Jesus. Want to have a look around the aircraft, the cockpit. If you've ever flown as captains or pilots, you know it all. If you're just accidental viewers, you won't know anyway what much of those gauges and knobs and switches and are all about. Feel free to ask, but subscribe first. Not joking. You can ask on a chat or about anything. If only I know, I'll try to answer that. You don't need to subscribe to ask on chat. As you can see, we are flying on autopilot. Oh, hello my friend, how are you? There you go. 10 miles next to her, maybe we can see him in. You can see him here somewhere? Nah. I think he has passed. Anyway, in Vatsum you won't see aircraft further than 20 miles away from you. That one was about 12, so we should have seen him. But then again, no, he was, I think, no, it was too high. Somewhere there. Keep up the good job. You're not the one with the burning engine, I hope. No. Okay. How is the guy with the burning engine not writing anymore? Hopefully he hasn't burnt the second one as well. Or he's 100 passengers sitting on a wild pig on a ball, as he wrote. So the weather in Krakow is good. Good. No storm. No strong winds. Yeah, that's better. We'll be passing flight level 100 shortly, so I'll need to switch the landing lights on. I've been thinking recently, I mean, there are guys who publish on YouTube online flights with the flights from London to Malta or the Canaries or somewhere there. I mean, 3 hours or 4 hours of watching nothing. I mean, there's absolutely no point, in my opinion, in live transmissions from long-haul flights. There's actually nothing happening there. The pilots sleep. I mean, the one on the left sleeps, the other watches a movie, and then they change. Once every half an hour they talk to ATC for a short while, maybe even more rarely. Therefore, for my transmissions, I'm choosing those short-haul flights, not to keep the viewers too long. But of course, if someone can go back to a transmission the next day, rewind it, push it forward or back, no problem. But then again, what can you be watching? Like takeoff is fine, okay, that's good. A bit of climb, a bit of descent, okay. Approach and landing, excellent. Maybe preparation for the flight, but the rest, no, I see no point. Anyway, stop digressions. Someone flying to Warsaw, landing lights on, runway lights and taxi lights on. Flight continues and logo on. Speed brakes on. Initial reference speed 1 to ice are going to be to go for 13233. 133. There is something building to the left. Probably the huge storm has passed from Krakow now and is it's heading west, well east. Good. For the farmers, of course, they're going to have the dry fields watered a bit. Something flying in front of us, 12 miles, but then 15 miles. But then somewhere up in the air, can we see him? Plus, oh, that's too high. I won't be able to see him. At least 10,000 feet. At least. No, we're not going to see him. Right, let's change pressure to local, and as you can see we are above the flight path, so a little bit of speed braking. Passengers don't like it really because the aircraft starts shaking a bit, trembling. If you don't know what it is, then you feel uncomfortable. We are more or less level with the flight path. And the profile. So my dear friends, we'll be landing in about 6 to 7 minutes. Not bad at all. ILS. Let's stand up. So let's get ready with it heading. 220 would be a good angle in case we want to make that turn, but I don't think we will. FMS will lead us. The flight management system will lead us to the path. Slow down, slow down, slow down. As they say in the aviation, slow down to go down. Otherwise you're going to be in a trouble. Okay, I think we can intervene with the speed a little bit. Because this beast by Boeing 737-800 has the tendency to fly too fast even on idle. Quite narrow with very big wings and winglets. Sometimes it's better to slow down first. Even a little bit manually, rather than rely only on computer. Nobody on ATC. No one. It's all dead. But this time was night. Okay, so let's go to 200. Knots. We don't need a speed brake now though. Let the aircraft slow down itself. And we'll shortly start to establish on ILS. Nice and smooth this time. There we see the lights of Kraken. And turning finals. Changing master. Just checking one more thing, okay. Sorry for that. I've noticed a slight drop in frame rates. I don't know why. Okay. I press the approach button of the autopilot panel, and this is how. To go to 3,000 feet. We got established so far on localizer, as you can see here. For lock, that means we are established on localizer. Good. So that means the lateral flight path. And then when we get established on the vertical one, this is what's happening now. And now we can say established on ILS rather than saying fully established. Okay, how many miles? 10 miles. Okay, so let's slow down to 180 and start moving out flaps. You can see the airport now, straight ahead, and the Krakow below. Flaps, 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 go down, go down, go down, go down. Now we need
2,500.
There we go, we're going a little bit fast, but strong wind in the back. We won't slow down normally. I have to. Release gear, otherwise I won't slow down. 15 knots in the ass, and then I think I have to start slowing down to final approach speed. No nice increments. That's the only safe way. going to land at flaps 40. Lots of airlines use it as standard, but I will move the flaps to 40, detent at the last very moment, since passengers are normally not enjoying that. The impression is the aircraft stops in the middle of the air, so we want to save it to them just to have some impressions right before landing. No, we're not malicious, we just want to have some fun. Yeah, we can see Krakow and the brand new scenery, nicely lit motorway at night. Good job, good job. It still could be better though. Okay, now here we go, flaps 40. And let's try to land. Frames are dropping, that's because of streaming, unfortunately. There isn't much I can do about it.
200.
Okay. Flying by hand now. Hand, autopilot off.
Light slope.
Light slope, okay, don't worry about that.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Bum bum bum. No jump. Good. Slightly long landing. Could have been better, but I was surprised by this frame drop, so I'm actually streaming with split, and it does from time to time get loads on the CPU, GPU, etc, etc. I need to start doing that with OBS, maybe I'll get a better outcome. So far so good, we have landed. Don't need speed brake anymore. And let us taxi to the stand. Offer choice. Yeah, but before we do that, still a few more things to do. Transponder in S mode. No need for landing lights. APU on. No more for white strobe lights. And all flaps up. Yeah. Correct behavior of an aircraft, not the exit open. I don't want to open the door. This was just mistakenly touched the wrong button on the panel, which you can't see. Now, nicely modelled taxiways, I must really admit that. They really resemble the new ones. All this Bravo taxiway on all the sections here, they're brand new in Krakow, they're like 1 year old, not deteriorated at all, with both edge and central lights. That's what they look like in real. Very nice, very nice. Now we have something like 2,300 meters to taxi along this long runway. To the right you're going to see the military part, as we'll be passing it, with the old tower, which is not used anymore, maybe for parking or something else, but there are no controllers sitting there whatsoever. It still has a backup equipment though. It can still be activated in case the new tower, which you're going to see later, fails. Something happens there, so they can still go to the old one. But normally ATC is provided from a different one, from brand new one. To the right, all you can see is the military part. Apart from the fire station, which you can, and fire and rescue station, yeah, here we go. This fire and rescue station is for a civil airport, not for the military, it's a civil one. And the old tower. What you can see on the right now is a brand new hangar, recently constructed in Rio at the military airport. It's also nicely depicted here. And there's a new tower right here. This one is fully operational. It looks much nicer during the day though. If we switch to the daylight, it would look much nicer. It would look much nicer. They have made wonderful edge lights. I mean, they are not eye-hitting, they are not deblurred, they are distinct but discreet. Very, very operational. I like them a lot. Still a few hundred meters of taxiing. And now going to the right, to the apron. That's actually my first landing after a full flight, not a touch and go, but a full flight with the new scenery. With a new extended terminal. Now you have the jetways, which were not present in the old one, and we do have them now. They're very nice. And okay, we're going to park at stand 1. These aircraft are just static, but they look like real, don't they? I mean, they look like sim pilot aircraft, or fellow simmer aircraft, but they are just static, but very nicely illuminated at night. Okay, what you can see here in front of me is the old terminal, the one it used to be, and to the left you've got a new one. And I must say, I'm not really happy with the textures, with the night textures of both. Neither A Candy nor Attracting, the same textures repeated several times. Not very happy with them. They need to be corrected. Alright, here we are. Let's stop. Okay. IP is working. Good. So we can turn on the lights and turn on the engines. landing lights, I mean the taxi lights, have been turned off, so we can now request the ground power units. There it is in place, so we can switch off APU. And anti-collision lights, where the passengers passengers belts off. Open the door, and that would be it. Let's disconnect from the vacuum network. Another flight done. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the flight. There haven't been many with me tonight, but that's probably the time of the day, and more attention paid to Battlefield or Counter-Strike. I don't mind at all. You can still watch it later, rewind it, and have some fun with it. Once again, if you like the flight, a little bit of my work put into having this transmitted online, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you like for more, so be informed when I plan the next flight, probably once a week at least, if not more often, and some other materials I'm producing. So thank you very much once again, thank you for watching, and see you. Bye bye.